Wow.
Friends like John, you know.
Late night with Kate went so well. We've decided to have early afternoon with Kate. That was so successful. You're now on the road, so it's good. So it's our pleasure to have Kate come and share a few things with us, and she's going to do that. And then, as I'm sure we gather, there's going to be some things which come and some things that you'll want to have her address, and she'll make that discretion as we go. So, Kate, wonderful to have you. Wonderful to be here. It was a wonderful spot.
It's a pity you couldn't have done something about the scenery.
I know.
Or the weather.
Oh, the weather. Yeah, I'm so used to this in Ireland. Not. Always again, get you thinking. Because who you are going forward is not determined by your past, but it is determined by your future and by God's plan for us. But we need to be able to access all our intelligences to do that. There are 5 intelligences we need to really be all that we are designed to be, all that God has for us. We need our IQ, and where do you get your IQ from? Your IQ is developed through school, through tests, through education. And really what a measure of IQ is your ability to retain and recall information. What age does your IQ peak at? Early 20s. That's when our IQ peaks. From there on in, it's a question of maintaining it. But research will show, particularly around leadership, that it's not the level of IQ that determines your ability to lead, it's all the 4 that lie below it. Emotional intelligence, I was asking the folks, you haven't done a huge amount of work, some of you may have done it through your organisations. Emotional intelligence is our ability to be self-aware, our ability to connect and relate to others, our adaptability and our ability to manage ourselves and our mood and the way that we impact others. Having that awareness of how we impact others and being willing then to adapt. PQ is political savvy. The larger the organisation, the bigger the P. Yeah? You need to know how to have savvy, and that's what I talked about the other night, that heads-up leadership, to know who is influencing who is actually influencing, nothing to do with rank or status. It's about where does the influence lie in this organisation and who is it appropriate and when is it appropriate for me to address that. So that PQ is really important. RQ, resilience. We know now when we're looking at recruiting for senior positions, and I do that often with my client companies, I help them recruit, one of the measures now is resilience, our ability to bounce back. How can we build our resilience? Health, fitness, one of the ways that we can do it, certainly by making sure that we are keeping ourselves healthy and fit, and that we are managing well, and we have someone, one of the pieces of research around resilience is that we have someone that we can burden or unburden to, someone we can just share with and tell people how it is, really. And the final one is spiritual quotient. And that's what that, for us, I think, Ingrid, you said it the other night, I don't know how people who aren't Christians to cope with life. How do you cope with it if you don't have that sense of meaning and purpose? And spiritual is a very common word that I will use now in organisations, and it is about meaning and purpose. Most of you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, yes? Spiritual, quoting that meaning and purpose, he currently sits like this. There's that self-actualization up here. I actually think you need to turn that on its head, because without meaning and purpose, all the rest of it's useless. If you don't have meaning and purpose, you are empty, you're running on empty. You're running on empty all of the time. So the 5 intelligences that we need to be really healthy and to live well and to lead well and to be well are these 5 intelligences. The research is coming out now is that 85% of what success is about is below this line, not above it. That's where your real success comes from.
That's hope for me.
Well, we all know people, I know people who are extremely intellectual, but I call them intellectual derelicts.
Yeah.
You know, they're so intellectual, you just cannot connect with them. They have no awareness, they don't know how to connect to others, they don't know how to engage, and they're uncomfortable with themselves and uncomfortable with others. So this is the stuff that I know that through Arrow, having been part of Arrow now for 4 years, that you will work through, and and I'm very happy to send you stuff that I have on that. I want to finish on an exercise to get you thinking. I started with a timeline. I want you to finish with a timeline exercise. So what I want to do is to get you all in a line, or not in a line, but in a group down in the grass, please. So everybody down in the grass, down here, who are willing to want to improve, to want to move forward, to want to understand what God has, and willing to take the steps to do that. So I encourage you to do that. But I would love you to do your nourishers, drainers, and wherever I put them now. I'd love you to do this exercise and to take that away and to think about it and focus on the nourishers and minimize the drainers and always have something to look forward to. And that's the one thing as Christians we know for sure. We have faith and hope, and we always have a future that we know is the best, because that's what's ordained for us. So thank you. I hope that's been helpful, and good luck and God bless with it anyway. Easy. Thank you.